You are listening to PastThink.com audiobook. Please like and subscribe, thank you. Chapter 40. Lady Kai plots to hand over Jingzhou to Cao Cao. Lu Biao dies, and his sons fight, and Kong Ming burns Xinya. What Kong Ming knows is that Lu Biao is dying, and that instead of trying to defend a small place like Xinya they should move immediately to Jingzhou. At the same time Cao Cao prepares to invade the south, and appoints 5 commanders to oversee his vast 500,000-strong army. Only one man speaks out against the impending war, and that is the imperial teacher Kong Rong. He opposes the war because it is against members of the imperial family. But palace intrigue soon brings about his downfall, and he and his entire family are executed. And so the war machine rolls out of the imperial capital, heading south. Meanwhile, in Jingzhou, Lu Biao lies dying. Hearing that Cao Cao is on his way, he calls for Xuanda, and hands over responsibility to him, and passes to his eldest son from his first wife, Lu Qi, the right to rule. The Lady Kai, his second wife, is furious. She has plans for her own son and hates her stepson. She orders her henchmen to close the city gates to prevent Lu Qi entering. Lu Qi, hearing his father is dying, leaves his command post at Jiangxia, and arrives before the city gate at Jingzhou only to find his archenemy Kai Mao, the brother of Lady Kai, blocking his entry. "Dear boy," says Kai Mao, "you were told to protect Jiangxia. By what authority have you abandoned it? What if it is attacked? You coming here like this will only upset your father, and make his illness even worse. This is most thoughtless of you, and I strongly recommend that you return to your post immediately." This stops Lu Qi in his tracks, and, helpless, he waits outside the gate. Weeping, he hopes to hear that, despite all that Kai Mao has said, he will be admitted to his father's side. But eventually he gives up and, burdened by sadness, returns to his post. In the city, his father waits for him. But he does not come, and no one tells him why. This is the final blow. Lu Biao is so distraught by this it fatally weakens him. This blow is the end. He dies in part from a broken heart. A poet has said the following. To the north of the Yellow River were the Yuans. Holding the middle was Lu Biao. That was until listening to women brought them both down. And today there is no trace whatsoever of them. No sooner is Lu Biao dead than Lady Kai, Kai Mao and Zhang Yan forge a will and claim it is his last wish that Lady Kai's son Lu Zong become the successor. They bury Lu Biao near Xiangyang, but do not invite Lu Qi to come for the rituals. Settling into the city, they make it their base, only to discover that now they are directly in the path of Cao Cao's invading army. What happens next is a terrible betrayal, a massive shock. Lu Zong's advisors gather to decide what to do. One of them, Fu Xian, says, "We're in danger not just from Cao Cao. You've excluded your elder brother Lu Qi and Xuanda from the rituals. If they gang up against us, we're doomed and we'll lose Jingzhou." "So what can we do?" asks a very troubled and frightened Lu Zong. "Let's write to Cao Cao," says Fu Xian, "and offer him our lands. I'm sure he'll give you a senior post and protect you." "I can't believe this," cries a bewildered Lu Zong. "I have only just become ruler, and now you want me to give it away." "Fu Xian is right," says Kuai Yu. "Cao Cao is strong, we're not. You, sir, have only just taken up your position, and there is no evidence that you have the loyal following of our people at this point. The people are terrified of Cao Cao's advancing army, and show no desire to resist." Lu Zong is gradually convinced that there is no other option, and a messenger is sent to Cao Cao offering the surrender of the lands. Cao Cao is delighted to hear this and agrees. But in his reply message he insists that Lu Zong must come out and formally welcome him in front of the gates of Jingzhou. However, when traveling back to say the offer has been accepted, the messenger is captured by none other than Guan Yu. Brought before Xuanda, the captured messenger confesses all, showing Xuanda the letter. This reduces Xuanda to tears at such a betrayal. Following Kong Ming's advice, Xuanda decides to retreat to the city of Fan. Xuanda is a man of honor and virtue. He realizes that he cannot simply abandon the people who have followed him, or the people in Xinya, who rely upon him for protection. He decides he must move all the ordinary folk, who have faithfully followed him, out of Xinya and across the river to the safety of Fan. This is a huge undertaking, and makes them all vulnerable to attack. So Xuanda and Kong Ming sit down to plan how to hold back the army of Cao Cao, which is almost upon them, encamped at Baoang nearby, while the people are helped to escape. Guan Yu is told to take 1,000 men to the upper waters of the White River and to dam it. At a given time the next day, they are to destroy the dam and release the floods, the force of which will wipe out most of the enemy. Zhang Fei is told to take 1,000 men and hide down by the Bowling River crossing, at a point where the flow of the river is sluggish. This is where any of the enemy seeking to escape will go. Zhao Zilong is to take 3,000 men, divided into 4 companies, and to put one group close to each of the 4 gates, north, south, east and west of the city of Xinya. They are to have sulfur with them and saltpetre. These they are to haul up onto the roofs of the houses. When Cao Cao's men take the city, says Kong Ming, they'll be worn out and want to rest in the houses. Tomorrow evening the wind will rise and blow, and at that point have archers fire flaming arrows into the town from 3 of the gates, but leave the east gate open for the enemy to rush to in order to try and escape. Then you can attack them at that gate. Guan Yu and Zhang Fei can ride to your assistance after they have completed their tasks. Kong Ming turns to commanders Mi Fong and Lu Feng and tells them, put 2,000 men at Shiwei Slope, 1,000 each under a blue and red banner. When the enemy appears, they should each run away, but in opposite directions, which will seriously confuse the enemy and delay pursuit. Once you see the flames rising from Xinya, prepare an ambush and descend upon the enemy. When you've finished there, come to the upper waters and help us. Having given their instructions and dispatched their men, Xuanda and Kong Ming leave and climb up an observation tower to observe the battle. In sweep the enemy, led by an elite force of 3,000 ironclad warriors commanded by Su Chu. Behind them come 100,000 men led by Cao Ren and Cao Hong. Reaching Shiwei Slope, they see the 2 troops under their red and blue flags. As arranged, as soon as they are attacked, these troops move in different directions. Such actions lead Su Chu to fear an ambush. He rides back to the main force and informs Cao Ren that he suspects this is a plan to lure them into an ambush. But Cao Ren disregards this advice and pushes forward. Frustrated, Su Chu returns to his crack force of 3,000 and soon they reach a small wood. As there is no one there, they halt. It is late in the day, the sun is setting in the west. All of a sudden the hills around echo with the sound of trumpets and drums. Looking up to a small hill, Su Chu can see Xuanda and Kong Ming sitting calmly having a drink beneath the shade of 2 umbrellas. Incensed, Su Chu and his men try to scale the hill, but are driven back by a barrage of stones and logs. Everything seems to be in chaos, and this sense is only increased when they hear the sound of an army attacking from somewhere behind. Desperately Su Chu tries to marshal his men, but night is now closing in. Cao Ren has now arrived outside Xinya ready to fight, but finds to his astonishment that the city gates are wide open and the city itself deserted. Riding into the deserted city, he gives orders for his men to rest so they can be ready for the fray tomorrow. That night, as the army sleeps, the fires break out. When news of this reaches Cao Ren, he at first dismisses it as insignificant. Only when he is told that 3 of the 4 city gates are ablaze does he realize how serious this is. Cao Ren is really alarmed. It is clear they have been fooled and are trapped. He dashes back and forth, trying to see if they can escape through any of the gates, until word comes that the east gate is open and not on fire. Men rush towards the gate, trampling the weak beneath them, and dash through the opening only to be confronted by Zhao Zilong charging at them. Many are slain there and then, but Cao Ren manages to struggle through and out into what he hopes is freedom. But another wave of attack, led by Lu Feng, overwhelms him and his men. Yet again, through sheer determination and courage, Chao Ren escapes. The survivors make it to the Bai River, where, grateful for the cooling water, they drink and wade across the shallows. But on the upper river Guan Yu has seen the flames and remembers his orders. The dam is broken and the flood waters rush downstream, sweeping men and horses away. Only a very few escape with Chao Ren, and they head for Boling, where they know there is a ford. Just as they think they are safe, Zhang Fei rises up before them and confronts Chao Ren. Is it possible for Chao Ren to survive? Let's find out.